Okay, so question 5 gives us an example of linear equations in the real world. This question is about water dripping from a tap. Okay, so it says water is dripping for 8 minutes. Minute 1, minute 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it's dripping at a rate of 9 drips per minute. So you need to first of all think about the fact that we've got drips and minutes, not x's and y's. Okay, so if we've got 8 minutes, it tells you down here that that's the time, and there's a couple of blank spots for you to fill in. Minute 4, minute 7. This has to be your x, because your x number 1 is always on the top of your table, but also the x always goes in order. Okay, it's your y which always gives you a pattern. The numbers aren't always in sequential and consequential or one after the other order like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They always have a pattern, but they're not consequential. Okay, so 9 drips per minute. You need to be really careful with this question, that you don't just come here and put 9 straight away in that box. 1 minute has to go through per minute. There has to be 1 minute gone through for that to be a 9. So at 0 minutes, there's 0 drops. Okay, so I think this would be the bit where we might muck up, where we've got 0 minutes, so therefore there's 0 water being wasted or dripping. After the first minute, per minute, there's 9 drops of water being wasted. Then it's just a matter of plussing 9 each time. 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, 63, 72. So I've just added 9 each time. Okay, so that's probably the hardest bit, is to read the question, work out which is your x and y in terms of, in this question, minutes and drips, making sure your pattern is correct. Okay, so now we need to think about a rule that links drips with time. So we're so used to going y equals, this would be 9x, because it's going up by 9 each time, up by 9, up by 9, up by 9. We're so used to going (9x), looking for the 0, and that would be plus 0 because of this. So really our rule is y equals 9x, but this time you have to do it with d for distance and t for time, sorry, d for drips. So this time we're going to go drips. Okay, that's our y, but this time for this real life question, it's drips equals 9t. Okay, so your y is your d, drips equals 9 multiplied by the time in minutes. And that's it, you could do a check. So drips equals 9 times t. So let's choose the last two to check on. Drips equals 9 times the t, or really the x that we're used to, is 8, and drips equals 72 drips. Okay, so after that, it's not too hard. After you've gotten your head around that, the minutes and the time represent your x, and the drips represent your y. Okay, it's still the same process of finding your pattern, and in this case we didn't have to do anything after that because it was 0 and 0. Use your rule to find how many drips there would be in 14 minutes. So you could complete your table, you could go 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, or you can just use your rule. That drips equals 9t. Drips is going to be 9 multiplied by 14. Okay, so 9 multiplied by 14, you could take your 7 and double it. Okay, you could take your 7 answer, which was 63, and double it. Or you could go 4 9s are 36, 1 9 is 9, and 3 is 12. Or you can use your calculator, but it is the fact that we have 14 minutes, so the 14 minutes got slotted in for your time, yeah, and we worked out our rule that it's just 9 times your 14 to give you 126. D for drips. Use your rule to find the time taken to drip 162 drips. So drips equals 9t. That's our rule that we created in question B. Okay, now this time it's going to be 162 drips equals 9 times, you're going to find the time taken. Okay, so we've talked about the fact that when you're trying to find the opposite box, I guess, you could just do 162 divided by 9. Okay, 18. So 162 equals 162. So the time is 18 minutes. Okay, 18 multiplied by 9 is 162. So it's going to take 18 minutes to drip 160 drips. We didn't need to worry about that last night, that might be confusing. That's your minutes, that's your drips. Bye.